Hi, I'm Christine Cushing, and welcome to another helping of my favorite foods. Come on in. Today, the kitchen is filled with the sweet smells of freshly baked cookies as I show you my top secrets on how to take your Snowball cookies next level. Get ready for Snowball cookies, or in Greek, Kourabiedes. Let's go. Every culture pretty much has a variation on this satisfying cookie because it's so easy to make. The flavors are incredible and they are crowd pleasers. Right off the top, there's a secret, and we have hardly even started. So secret number one is using almonds that are whole and raw. So I toasted these almonds, bought them raw from the store, and I toasted them myself for about 10 to 12 minutes until they're nice and golden and I've cooled them down. This toasting really amps up the flavor. So when you buy ground almonds in the store, A, you don't know how long they've been there, B, they never have that beautiful golden flavor, and C, really, they're not going to add the texture that these are adding. So secret number one, going into the food processor. Insane. Smells like nougat or torrone, like that beautiful toasted almond smell. And I haven't even done anything else yet. So check out the texture that I'm looking for here. They're not completely evenly chopped. So you got some coarser pieces, some finer pieces. If I take it anymore, it's going to start turning into a paste and the oil is going to start coming out of the almonds. Nuts. It's nuts. You see what I did there? It's so good, that smell, really. I always use unsalted butter when I'm baking. That way I can control the amount of salt. Salted butter is too salty for baking. So room temperature going in. Along with the sugar, and here this is icing sugar. Okay, this is kind of a mini secret, but icing sugar is much more fine than regular granulated sugar, so you get a finer texture to your cookie. And we whip this, whip it good. I always like to sift my flour. Aerates, just generally a good habit. Secret number two is the addition of orange. In the Mediterranean, the combination of almonds and some kind of citrus fruit is huge. They use it everywhere. Why is that? Because it's amazing. Like, it seems that they were meant to be together. So I'm going with the zest of one orange. So this is now 5 or 6 minutes, high speed, and you're going to see how that butter looks, because it's really important that we get a nice fluffy texture on that butter and sugar. That's going to make these nice and light and that melt in your mouth texture that we want. Look at that. So it's important a couple of times that we scrape down the sides, because the butter tends to creep up on the sides. So this could be going on 8 to 10 minutes of creaming that butter. Once it's nice and silky smooth, which it is, now I add my orange zest. Orange, almonds, butter. For me, that means something special is happening. It's not just a regular, Tuesday night, although it could be. Now, the other part of this secret number 2, which is adding the orange, is adding some orange liqueur. That's really going to amp up again the flavor. Really, the alcohol is minimal as it bakes in the oven, so you don't have to worry about that. For me, it brings a more beautiful flavor than, let's say, orange extract. That's going in. In addition, a little vanilla. I don't know, you can't really bake anything without vanilla, and the vanilla is just a great partner to all those other flavors. Good quality vanilla. We blend. Scraping down. Adding a pinch of salt. And this is secret number 3. The flour is what's called a soft flour, a cake and pastry flour. This has less protein, it's going to develop less gluten, and that gives the cookie that beautiful, tender, crumbly texture. It just holds together. I mean, essentially we are making a shortbread, but it has a bit more texture than a traditional shortbread and not quite as much butter. So this soft flour is key. Blending. You see that I'm working on a lower speed here because I don't want to start working the flour too much. And for that same reason, I'm now going to add the almonds and then finish blending it together. Low speed. At this point, I want to make sure I don't overmix it. I don't want to beat that gluten, start developing gluten. I want it to be tender and delicate. You can see that this texture is tender, but it's really holding together. You don't want it to be too soft. Now it's time to make some cookies. Woo! So I always used parchment-lined baking sheets. It's the easiest. You don't have to butter them or flour them or deal with anything. And these are very, very simple to make. The key thing is you want them to be evenly sized. Now, let me just tell you this, that I come from a long line of women in our family who were not good bakers. I mean, they did not bake at all. And usually in the Greek family, the Greek women all baked. None of the Greek women in my family baked. So it was always, when I was a kid, because I was so drawn to it, and my dad was always in the kitchen cooking, I was cooking with him a lot, the baking recipes that are Greek, I always learned from neighbors, from close friends, from wherever I could find, but it was never from my family, which is so weird. Now these, Kourabiedes in Greek and Snowball cookies in English, I mean, they're made with pecans. A lot of people make them with different kinds of nuts. In Greece, we always make them with almonds, and they're called Kourabiedes. And you can shape these in a variety of different ways. So if you want them crescents, they can be crescents, but I'm going to go for the little round because we're talking about snowballs here. And a good little trick is to just make almost like a little thumbprint in the top, because then we're going to dust these in icing sugar so the tops don't get bald, basically. Otherwise, the sugar is going to roll off the top. Now, since we're doing a Greek recipe, I mean, it is technically, my version is a Greek way of making this. I want to keep our tradition of teaching you some Greek words. Okay, so I think what you should learn is πολύ ωραία. Πολύ ωραία. That means really nice or really good. So if somebody asks you, how are the cookies? Πολύ ωραία, which means really good, really nice. And it's easy, right? These are all done. Now these have no leavener in them, so they're not going to expand, so you can actually put a lot on the baking sheet. My oven is set up now at 350 on a Fahrenheit setting, of course, and I've got my convection setting on, and they're going to take 15 to 18 minutes. Okay, 17 minutes exactly. These are beautiful. I want to let those cool completely before I do anything else. Now it's time to do some dusting with the icing sugar to make these into the snowballs or Kourabiedes. Notice I said dusting. So for those Greeks out there, and you know who you are using a shovel to put the icing sugar on. They don't need that much sugar. So this is what I like to take a little bit, take it easy with the icing sugar. It's snowing. Look how great they look. Now, to kind of give them a little bit of a festive feeling, here's what I thought would be cool. So I have these great little coarse sugars. Some of them have a little bit of coloring in them, and they add a little sparkle. How about a little red? How festive do those look, right? You know what's gonna happen now. I get to taste. Let me show you inside. Look at those almonds, right? Now, do you see that texture? It's because those almonds are unevenly cut. They're not pasty. I can smell it from here. So beautiful. I need a moment. This cookie is so good. It's actually not so sweet because I didn't douse it in the sugar on top, but really that almond flavor with the citrus is off the chart. You're really, really gonna love it. And for me, it's about making memories in the kitchen, making traditions, finding your recipes, playing with them, tweaking them, getting them exactly how you love them. That's what I constantly do, and I want to share it with you. So thanks again for hanging out with me in the kitchen for another helping, a sweet one of my favorite foods. Let me know what's happening. I hope that you're trying new things. I hope that you're succeeding. And I hope, most importantly, that you're having fun in the kitchen. See ya. Like, subscribe, share. Let me know what's happening.